Welcome back, everybody. You know our first guest tonight from his work on SNL and Bupkis, in addition to movies like Dumb Money, The King of Staten Island, and Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. He voices Petey the Cat in Dog Man, which is in theaters now. Please welcome back to the show our friend Pete Davidson, everybody. To see you, and I'm very excited. I also get to see you a week from now, SNL 50, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
SNL 50.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And I know it takes big events to get you back into the city these days because you're living upstate. You're a man of nature.
I moved into the woods.
You moved into the woods.
Yeah.
Not a lot of us predicted you in the woods.
I know. My neighbors are very confused. Yeah.
Are you using your space in the woods to have pets? Is this something you've added to your life?
I'm allergic to all pets that would bring me happiness.
Okay.
So I got a big fish tank.
You did? You got a fish tank?
I got a fish tank.
We have a photo of your fish tank, and can you explain, like, what was the decision-making behind, because this looks installed.
So I'll explain this. So I went to rehab for 4 months, came back. That was just in the living room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think I made that decision when I wasn't really paying attention. And then when I got home, there was like a guy, cleaning it. And I was like, oh, or is this like once every 6 months you gotta come by? And he goes, oh, no, this is like 2-3 times a week for the rest of your life. So there's this guy, Norm, that comes over twice a week. Yeah. And I'm like, morning, Norm. And he's like, Yeah.
What a real, I guess you come home from rehab.
You can't tell. This is half of my living room. It's 150 gallons. It's hilarious.
So does Norm do a lot of celebrity aquariums? Because the only other one I know is Tracy Morgan famously has.
Yeah, he does. I think he does Tracy's and he does my buddy Chris Webby's.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's probably enough. When you got 3 good aquariums, that's probably enough to live on.
Well, Tracy's is like 500 gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I got sharks. Yeah.
Yeah, because the one thing I'll say is you probably can't fit a full shark in there.
No, but I think I could get in there.
Wait, this is a good, I'm sorry, I didn't realize we had a second photo.
You have a better photo?
I will say it does look like you got to clean it like 3 times a week.
It's also like, it's awkward because that's where the front door is. So I have to warn people, like, don't open the door because you'll break it.
So not only did you make an incredibly bad decision to get an aquarium, but you also made a terrible decision on where to put the aquarium.
Yeah, it's the worst place for an aquarium.
I feel like the people installing your aquarium should have said, like, are you sure?
Oh, there's plenty of jokes when they come over. So, yeah.
Hey, very excited as well for you because you have a rooting interest in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
You have been supporting the Eagles.
I know. Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah. Thought I would get some booze.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
All right, so is this your connection, this fella?
This is the guy.
Yeah.
This is who I'm a fan of.
Okay, gotcha.
His name is Big Dom.
He's the security guard
He's
for the
the
Eagles.
security guard / coach.
Yep.
And you know what? A friend of ours, a mutual friend, was like, I think you guys would really hit it off. And we did, and he's been so kind, and the organization has been so kind to me that I'm just kind of going where the love is. So I love those guys, and I love this guy a lot.
There you go.
So, yeah.
You also, you got to turn on, this is a big deal. You got to turn on the lights of the Empire State Building.
Yes.
And here you are.
Look where that is. Like, it's not safe.
I agree.
That's level. And
I agree.
And it's windy as hell up there.
Yeah.
And when you go there, they make you sign a waiver. Like, if
there's
you get
a waiver, it's the worst.
They're like, it's super fun. Everyone does this. Oh, just sign that thing if you like get blown off the top that you won't sue us. And it's actually a fun experience, but it's pretty scary.
Also, like, you're a tall fella.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the wind would not be your friend up there.
No, I almost got blown off. I'm telling you, it's not safe.
I wouldn't have worn a hood that would like catch wind.
Well, what's crazy is like the photographers, they clearly do this every day. So they have like their foot up on the rail and they're doing all this
they're super
stuff.
cocky.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're like, the fact that you're not gripping something with white knuckles.
Well, I was, and they were like, you look like a Can you like go like this? Like, can you do that? So
You also have sort of famously said that you're going to get rid of your tattoos, which is not an easy thing to do.
no, I didn't realize it would take. It's
Yeah.
like when I'm 40, it'll all be gone, like
Right.
the chest and back.
And it's not even that they're like you're working across your body. Like, don't they have to like because they burn it off? Isn't each one like 7 visits to get rid of one?
It's at least 7 visits, and if it's black and white, it's a little easier. But
Right.
if it's a color tattoo, it takes forever.
Is there any tattoo of yours that you've gotten rid of that you were happiest to not have to look at again? Okay.
All of them. Well, I made a lot of those decisions when
When
I
you were
was
on the phone with the aquarium people?
before rehab. So, so I got the dumbest tattoos.
What is one of the dumbest?
I got a collection of cartoons smoking blunts. Like a Muppet smoking a blunt, a Tootsie Pop Owl smoking a blunt, which is weird because I wasn't even old enough to be around for that cartoon, that commercial. And yeah, it's not great.
There's certain tattoos where you're like, this might not be fun when I'm 50.
No, yeah. All of them. For me. Yeah.
All right, I have a lot more to ask you about. We're going to stick around with Pete Davidson and be back after this.
Okay, listen up. You're my clone, which means evil runs through your veins.
Okay.
You're destined to be a villain.
Ooh, is that fun?
So much fun.
Yay!
Of course, fun, surrounded by, miserable suffering, loneliness, and like 0 appreciation. I mean 0. Do you even know what I'm saying?
No, but it sounds fun. I want to be miserable too.
Good, that's the spirit.
Welcome back to Late Night. We're here with Pete Davidson. That was a clip from Dog Man.
Yep.
#1 movie in the country. Congratulations.
#1 in the country.
#1 in the country.
Yeah, thank you.
I was telling you backstage, my kids loved it.
Oh.
And it hurt my feelings because I have been reading them those books, and I feel like I'd been doing a pretty good Petey voice over the years.
Oh, yeah?
And they came back from the movie, and they're like, the Petey's a lot better than yours.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you for going
Of
to
course.
see that. It's funny, I talked to Lorne.
Yeah.
And he was like, congrats, whatever. And I was like, well, my face isn't in it.
Yeah.
And he goes, take the win.
Take the win.
Yeah.
#1 movie is the #1
He
movie.
goes, a win's a win.
Yeah.
So.
Did you, Dab Pilkey, who wrote these, he also did Captain Underwear Pants. These are
Yeah.
cute. Sorry, Captain Underwear. My
Underpants.
kids call it
Yeah.
Captain Underwear Pants.
Yeah.
And we haven't, it's so much funnier that they're like, read me Captain Underwear Pants,
Yeah.
that's what I call it. And I realized as I said it, I sound idiotic.
No, they're shockingly, they're great books.
They're great books.
Not that it's shocking, but it's just like, when you see, the adventures of Professor Poopy Pants and
Yeah.
all this stuff. But yeah, I grew up, that was my Dog Man,
Yeah.
was Captain Underpants. So anytime, you guys know, the Scholastic Book Fair when you're
Yeah,
in
of course.
school? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scholastic.
Yeah.
All right. And, I'd always get a stack, and my mom always gave them to me. And it was funny, I loved them so much. When I got punished, she would take that away, and she'd be like, go play video games.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you would get punished and lose books.
Yeah, because I would run around the house in my underwear being like,
Yeah.
Professor Poopy Pants. And she was
Yeah.
like, all right, dude, yeah.
Call of Duty for
And I
you,
was
young
15.
man. Yeah.
No,
Oh, you were 15. Yeah. Well, then you got to take it
Yeah, I
away.
gotta
If you're
stop.
still doing it at 15.
Yeah.
Did you have any inspiration when you're doing a voice for someone like Petey the Cat?
I mean, obviously, whenever I go into a booth, I always try and just do any iteration of Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that's
So I
good.
was trying to do the Grinch and all this stuff, and the producers and stuff were like, don't just do your voice. But I had a blast. I had such a great time because you just scream in a booth,
Yeah.
and you don't really know what it's gonna look like because they don't have the movie done.
Right.
So you're just screaming, and then when you see it, you're like, oh wow, this
Yeah.
is kind of beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the gap from the last day you recorded to when you saw the movie? Was it? I mean, it must be over
It
a
was
year.
like a year,
Yeah.
a year and change.
That's
I
fantastic.
almost I forgot. You
Yeah,
forget,
yeah.
because sometimes you know how this business works. Sometimes stuff just doesn't come out.
Yeah.
You'll spend so much time doing something. They'll be like, oh yeah, we don't.
You basically came home, saw the aquarium, and then got a call being like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you did a voice in a movie."
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
"Whoa, a lot happened."
Yeah.
There's a lot of really great SNL documentaries around the 50th, and you're in maybe my favorite one, which is about the audition process. I, of course, acutely remember how trippy it was to audition for SNL. They showed your audition. You talked about watching it, and one of the things. I mean, it's really that's like.
Yeah.
I feel like that expression just grabs how we all feel in that moment.
Well, I've explained. There's no one in there.
Yeah.
you're on the stage, the SNL stage, and Lorne's there, Higgins, and maybe one or two
Yeah,
other
like
Doyle,
5 people, yeah.
but they're blacked out. You can't see them.
Yeah.
So you're doing your whole act to no one, and once in a while you hear like,
Yeah.
and that's about all I got during the audition.
It's truly the worst you've ever done.
Ever.
And then you find out afterwards, like, hey, you know the hardest you bombed in your life?
You made it.
You made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. No, when you watch your audition, do you get like choked up?
I've more felt like my entire stomach like fell out of my body.
Yeah.
Because I felt like all the stress again. But I don't think I've watched my full audition, but I mean.
I was forced.
You were forced for
And
the documentary.
I like teared up a little bit because I'm like 20 there.
Yeah.
So it's before like all the bad stuff happens.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a joke, but all right.
Yeah. But I would say,
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it did happen.
I was 20, I think I was 27 when I auditioned. And
Right.
that's a giant gap. The fact that you were 20, like, that's insane.
Well, 27 is also super young. I mean, I
Yeah.
think the age average is like 31.
Yeah.
Or something but yeah.
But it's so funny. And also, like, I will say I wore a pair of corduroys and a weird lavender sweater, and I have a lot of, I hate the way I dress.
Of course.
How are you feeling about your outfit?
So I still do this. You can go to Target and get 10 of the coolest T-shirts ever for $20.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Was
it.
your hope that, like, if Lauren had forgotten your name, you'd be like, I like
I
Spider-Man.
like Spidey.
we could use a Spider-Man. We don't have Spider-Man. That was like I always said when Andy Samberg auditioned, he did a Swedish Chef impression.
Right.
And I always bust him on it because I was like, well, that's why we hired you, because we had no one who could do Swedish Chef. And he was so in the news at the time that we needed to get a Swedish Chef on the show.
That's great.
Well, I'm very glad they chose very wisely. And
Thank you.
I'm so
You as
happy. Well, it was very nice to have been on the same show with you, and it's really cool that we both get to be there in a week.
Yes,
so
sir.
Thanks for being here. Congrats on the movie.
Good.
Always
Love you, buddy.
Pete Davidson, everybody. Dogman Theater's now. We'll be right back with Caitlin Collins.